Hi there, welcome to another video from Hegarty Maths. It's Mr. Hegarty here, and in this video we're talking about the probability of more than one event, our second video on this particular topic. So a question we answered in the previous video was something like this. So you need to be really good at this for this skill, so please pause the video and double check you can answer the following question. Well, step 1 hopefully was to draw the sample space. And then step 2 was to count up the number of outcomes where you got the same number. There were 6 of them out of a total of 36 equally likely outcomes, and 6 out of 36 simplified to a sixth. So you should be really good at that for this video. Now we're doing similar examples here, other than there might be a slight twist on what you do with the outcomes you get on each of the two things that are going on, and I'll show you with the first example here. Now pause the video and have a go if you feel like you can, otherwise I'll go through in a few seconds. Now it seems like the same style of question, Colin rolls 2 fair dice at the same time, all very good, but this is the key line here. He does something with those scores. He doesn't just list them. Colin adds the scores on each die or dice. And what is the probability of the sum, those two numbers getting added together being various things? So our sample space diagram must take into account the fact that we're actually adding our results, not just listing them. So let's go and draw a sample space diagram for this. Remember, we are to add the scores, not list them. So we're going to 1 add 1 is 2, 1 add 2 is 3, etc. And there we go, we have our sample space diagram where we have added the results on each of the two dice. Now it simply is asking us some simple questions here. What's the probability of getting a sum of 1? There is no such outcome with a sum of 1. The lowest score you can get is 2, so the probability of this is clearly 0. What's the probability of getting a sum of 10? Well, all we've got to do is count here where we get 10s. We get 10 one time, 2 times, and 3 times. Okay, so the answer here is going to be 3 out of a possible 36 outcomes, which we can simplify, divide top and bottom by 3, it will be 1/12, like that. And the last one, of getting a sum that is prime. So let's try and count the sums that are prime. That's a prime number, that's a prime number, that's a prime number, and that's a prime number. That's prime, that's prime, and that's prime. That's prime, and that's prime. That's prime, that's prime. That's prime, and that's prime. And lastly, that's prime, and that's prime. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we've got 15 out of a possible 36. And again, you could simplify that by dividing top and bottom by 3 in this case, and we would get 5 out of 12, and we're done. Okay, next question. Pause the video, have a go. Okay, a blue and pink spinner are spun together, the scores are added. What is the probability of getting a total of 4 across the two spinners? So this bit here tells us in our sample space diagram to make sure we add the scores, not just list them. So let's draw that sample space diagram. So there's our sample space diagram. We can see there are 12 possible equally likely outcomes. It asks us what's the probability of getting a 4. Well, let's just count those 4s. We've got 1, 2, 3 possible ways of getting a 4. So we could say the probability sum of 4 is 3 out of a total of 12. And that simplifies to a quarter, dividing top and bottom by 3. And we're done. Okay, last question. Pause the video, have a go. So here it says Colin takes one card from each of the following 2 sets of cards and then adds the numbers. What's the probability of scoring, of getting a score of 10 or more? So let's draw that sample space diagram. So there's our sample space diagram. It's very clear that there are 4 possible outcomes and each are equally likely. What's the probability of scoring a 10 or more? Well, that's a 10, that's a more than 10, that's more than 10, and that's more than 10. It is 4 out of a possible 8, which clearly simplifies to a half. So let's just say probability of 10 or more, let's show our working, is 4 out of 8, which simplifies to a half. And we're done. And that's it for this video. Thanks loads for watching.